So American and Southwest fly the MAX 8. United flies the MAX 9. Several Canadian airlines also fly the plane. All of them standing by the plane, saying that they have had no issues whatsoever. That said, the FAA is under serious pressure to ground this plane if there's the slightest hint of a fatal flaw. This morning, Boeing is on notice. The FAA says it expects to order mandatory design changes to the 737 MAX 8 by the end of April. Overnight, Australia became the latest country to ground the MAX 8 until investigators get a readout from the Ethiopian Airlines black boxes. China and Indonesia had already made the decision to ground, along with about 24 airlines. The critical question, is there any connection between the MAX 8 crash in Ethiopia and the Lion Air MAX 8 crash in Indonesia last October? In a letter to Boeing employees, the CEO writes, "We are confident in the safety of the 737 MAX and in the work of the men and women who design and build it." But a former NTSB chairman says the worldwide fleet should be grounded, including those flown in the U.S.
Boeing aircraft ought to voluntarily itself ground these aircraft.
The FAA says its investigators are at the crash scene with the NTSB, and if we identify an issue that affects safety, the FAA will take immediate and appropriate action. Meanwhile, one of the world's biggest flight attendants unions wants concrete action to keep the traveling public safe.
We're calling for transparency here so that crews and the traveling public can have full confidence in flying on these planes.
Among the 157 people who died on Flight 302, 19 United Nations workers and passengers from nearly 30 different countries, 32 Kenyans, 18 Canadians, 9 Ethiopians, and 8 Americans. 2 of the Americans now identified as Melvin and Bennett Riffle. The brothers from California were returning from a trip to Australia. Melvin and his wife were expecting their first child in the spring.
These guys were just wonderful, and they're going to be missed deeply by this community.
A third American identified overnight, Antoine Lewis, a member of the U.S. military. Also among the victims, Dr. Manisha Nukavarapu, a doctor at East Tennessee State University who was flying to Kenya to see her sister who had just given birth to triplets. NBC's Sarah Harmon is in Nairobi, Kenya, the plane's intended destination.
This is the terminal where passengers from Flight ET-302 should have arrived on Sunday. Instead, their grief-stricken families are receiving counseling at a hotel nearby.
This morning, the pressure is on investigators to find out why 2 brand new planes suddenly fell out of the sky and whether both crews struggled to keep the plane in a trim or level flying condition.
If it's a trim problem, it's going to be a major issue that they're going to have to solve in a hurry. But that could result in actually them grounding the airplane if it's a trim problem.
So first things first, they got to find the black boxes. And when they do, what are investigators looking for?
Well, trim is critical. That's how level the plane was flying. They got to look at that. They want to look at pitch and roll. All of the data that is on board the flight data recording, engine performance, airspeed, heading, pilot inputs, all of that is going to give them a better sense of what was happening. And then the conversations inside the cockpit. I need to also point out Boeing this morning is making a point. They were already planning a software upgrade to that computer program that has been questionable and at the heart of some of these issues. That is part of this mandatory FAA design change by the end of April. Boeing says it's already working on it.